G'day guys. Okay, what I'm showing you here is a stack of different pens that I have in my crafty arsenal. So I wanted to draw your attention to something that we probably all have and we use them, but let's use them a little bit differently with scrapbooking. Let's see what I can do with them. So I had this idea in my head of creating all these different lines on my paper. Now, I've pulled out a 12 by 12. This is a Poppycraft cardstock. It's not textured in any way, shape or form. And all I'm doing is essentially just putting lines everywhere. So while that's happening, I want to let you guys know about a little giveaway that I'm having. And I'm going to, this is my first time saying this, so let's hope I get this right. Okay, ready? I'm having a giveaway to say thank you for your support of my little Aussie channel. I'm also celebrating the fact that I've reached over 800 subscribers, which absolutely blows my mind. And this is to say thank you for all your support. Now, so in conjunction with Cass and Jacques, who are the owners of Crazy Craft Obsessions online store, we will be giving away 2 e-gift cards to spend in their store. One for $50 and one for $25. To be in the draw, you must subscribe to Create with Karen YouTube channel. You're here, why not subscribe? And you have to like each video that I post from Sunday, the 6th of the 11th, 22, right through until the 13th of the 11th, 22. The competition, I knew I would say it. I knew I'd do it. The giveaway will be drawn at 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Queensland, so we don't have daylight saving. And it will be drawn then, and I will be contacting you via the Facebook group to let you know if you're the winner. Now, all you have to do is not only like the channel, but you have to jump over to the Facebook group, and underneath the giveaway post, you need to put your name, your state and country, basically. Now, under the giveaway post, this is only for Australian and New Zealanders at the moment due to postage costs. So see below for contact and giveaway details, terms and conditions. I think I did okay. Did I do all right? I hope you all get that. I'm trying to, because I have to put this on every single video this week so everybody has the opportunity to get their hands on some cash right before Christmas. Who doesn't love a bit of cash and a bit of, shopping for yourself? I think that's a great idea, personally. Now, I'm still adding lines. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm actually adding all different colors. So I'm using everything from bright pink to greens, and I'm using my MARTE adult coloring duo markers. That's a big long name for, if you go to the MARTE section of your $2 shop if you're an Aussie, and or go to KITSCH or any of those stores, or you can buy these online. These are awesome pens. I'll tell you why, and I don't use them even remotely enough, but I purchased them because they're dual tip. So on one end of it, it is a fine tip pen, which is what I'm using today. And on the other end is a brush marker of the same color. So I ended up picking mine up, and they're $14.99, $15, and there's 20, I think there's 24. I'm going to stand up, my chair's going to squeak. I apologize in advance. Still haven't bought a new chair. I've bought more supplies, but not a new chair. Okay, there's 24 pens in the collection, and I got to tell you, I've had these for ages. I've actually purchased a second set. That's how much I love these pens, and I don't do that very often with a particular product because in my mind I don't want to continue using the same product over and over and over and over and have all of my layouts as they're added into my scrapbook or photo album, whatever you choose to call it. I don't like having everything. It's the same. I do the same deal with paper collections. I don't like buying all the things and having all the papers because then I know I'm going to go down a rabbit hole and I know I'm going to scrap using that same collection for heaps and heaps and heaps of layouts, and I don't like that in my album. I like to, if you've been around here for a hot minute, you will know that I like to do different things continually, and I don't scrapbook in date order. In what's the word? I'm trying to think of it. I don't scrap in order of events, so to speak. So I don't start in 1999 and go right through. I plucked that number because that's when my eldest daughter was born. that was so random. Okay, so basically I just go from whatever photo suits me on the day depending on my mood. If I'm in a floral mood, I will pull out. I probably would say I would go with, if I'm in a floral mood, I usually pull out my Uniquely Creative little paper stacks that I've got going on. If I'm in a bright mood, I usually lean more towards mixed media. Although I have got a few bits and pieces there from Vicky Booten, and sometimes I'm in a bright mood but I don't want mess. That's when I go for Vicky's collections because they are amazing and they're super bright. And yeah, so I have sped this up a lot. To be quite honest with you, while I was doing this, I was watching the second last series of Game of Thrones. I have literally just finished it this morning, watched the last episode, and yeah, I mean, it was a good way of finishing it, I suppose, but I never got into Game of Thrones back in the day when everyone was going crazy hypo about it, but I have to say, it really did suck me in this time. So, okay, so what I'm doing here, the reason I'm using my scrapbooking ruler is because that's a zero centering ruler that I picked up from Creative Memories. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do what I like to do the most, and I had these little pots of glitter. They're Ranger makes them. They're called STICKLES Glitter Gel, and they're in a pot. So I absolutely love glitter, shimmer, and shine on my pages. Now, I was very, very careful because these markers, they're not a permanent. You can wet them and they will bleed. So what I did is when I put the glitter on, I made sure I did one swipe over the letters and I didn't double swipe. You know, like when you're doing over a stencil and you'll find yourself going over it 2 or 3 times. Did not do that this time. So, and it was successful. If you look at the close-up photos over on the Facebook group, you will see that it didn't bleed out everywhere. It didn't run. I've still got very distinct lines. So now what I wanted to do was, I love a border. Everyone knows I love a border. And I wanted to put a similar border around my photos. Now, these photos are just Jen being silly. If there's a kid that was born to keep the family laughing, it's Jen. We decided to get our kids you know, Nerf guns for Christmas. We actually bought them for everyone in the household so we could play and muck around in a safe environment. Like and we love the gun, the what do you call it? Nerf guns. Well, Jen decided, she was only about 3 in these photos. She decided that she couldn't squeeze the trigger, so instead she was going to stick them on her forehead, which was hilarious. Nobody shot it at her. She stuck it on there herself. And at the time I thought, mate, I need a photo of this because that is classic Jen. So we had a great laugh because we were like, what are you doing? She actually at one point had them stuck all over her face and she looked like a porcupine. It was so cute. It was hilarious. So now what I'm adding to the page is some stars. Now I bought these stars ages ago. They're from Paper Rose Studio and they're called Paper Rose Shaker Mix. They're pastel stars and they come in a little bag. And I absolutely love these things. I bought them to make a shaker pocket with them. But something, as you know, I am now with the YouTube channel and whatnot, I want to make sure that I'm using my product and not just sticking it into my shells and my caddies that I've got going on. I don't want to just sit it there and go, she'll be right. Yeah, I bought that, but I'm gonna stash it. I don't want to do that. I want to show you guys that when you buy stuff, I'm not saying waste it, but I am saying use it. You bought it for a reason. You bought it because you liked it. It spoke to you at the time. You may have been inspired by something that you've seen on my channel or somebody else's. Could even be Pinterest. Could be on someone else's Facebook group. There's a lot of Facebook groups out there. For example, there's 2 that I really like. One's called Scrapping Reflections and one is called Scrapaholics. No, is that what it's called? It's Adele Toomey's scrapbook page. It is called, I will tell you in one shake of a dog's hind leg. It is called, I have no idea. It's disappeared and it's not coming back to me. Groups, come on now. Jump out at me. It will jump out. Yeah, Scrapaholics Anonymous. That's what I thought it was called. I don't know why I second guessed myself. Scrapaholics Anonymous is an awesome Facebook group, and there's like 18,000, 19,000 or something members of it. So it's definitely a place where people share their photos of what they've done, what they've completed, and it is an awesome tool to have in your arsenal. So if you're looking for extra inspiration outside what I offer, that is definitely a good place to go. I know Adele Toomey has been, Inky Quill is her pay. Inky Quill and Inky, she's got 2. She's got Inky Quill, which is I think her scrapbooking page. And then she has a junk journaling page as well. And she's a talented lady, and she's another Aussie that's striving for big things. So if you're interested let me know if you're interested in me maybe doing a quick hunt around, see if there's some Facebook groups or some other YouTube channels that you would maybe be interested in, or maybe you just want me to tell you what ones I look at, which ones inspire me, because it's changed over the years. Now, as you can see me here messing around with my glue stick, when you're using double-sided tape like this and you need a little bit of wiggle room, just run your glue stick across the top of it. It dries, and once the glue dries, the tape then glues on. It's perfect. So absolutely not a drama at all. I wanted to make the corners a little bit different. So I grabbed my 1-inch punch from Creative Memories, and these are things that I bought 20 years ago, and I don't use them nearly as much as I used to. However, pull them out. You never know. You might find yourself, like I am, using it and going, why haven't I been using this? It makes life so much easier. So I wanted to create a different sort of corner. You know, I didn't just want a square layout. I wanted to do something slightly different. So this is what I did. Punched out the corners on the white bit. They're 1-inch squares, and the pink that's going around the outside edge. Now that started off as an A4 piece of paper, which we all know is not 12 by 12. So I just run some strips up the side, and as I cut it in, I actually created completely, it was a fluke, guys. This was not planned. See how there's like a little tiny square right in the very corner? It literally leaves like a little tiny empty square. So I'd love to say I'm a genius and I just lined it up perfectly, but guess what? I didn't. It was just a fluke. And see, you can see the little squares there. It's so cool. It looked really, really good. Now, wet gluing this sucker down as well as tape runnering. I don't know why. It was a really hot afternoon, so I thought it needed it, maybe? I don't know. But it came together really nicely. I really, really like the border. It's something different, and I don't do it very often. So now I'm bringing in some more stars. Why? Because I put them on there, and then I thought, oh, I better do these borders and get it on its, and then maybe do the title side of things, because I was thinking of doing my original thought process. I wanted to do a curved title, sort of going around, but then I realized this is a very boxy, straight, lineal lined layout. I didn't think that a curved line would work very well on it. Even the stars, even down to the stars, they're pointy. So you've got your pointy stars, you've got your direct ruled lines, you've got your squares cut out in the center. It kind of didn't really lend itself to a circle or a curved line. So that's okay. It's all good. I change things up on the fly all the time. And this is why I think it would be helpful for you guys to realize that I don't always have a full layout in my head when I start recording. Sometimes, and quite often than not, like on this layout, what I wanted to do was I wanted to rule lines. That's what I wanted to do. That's where this whole thing started from. And that's what I quite often do with my pages. Something that I would love to share with you guys is don't overcomplicate your thinking process when you're putting your photos onto a page, when you're putting your memories onto a page. Don't overcomplicate it. Start off with just a simple, like I did. You know, I wanted to rule lines, multicolored lines. That's what I wanted to do, and let it naturally just flow from there. That's how I do it. I know I scrap differently to other people, but you know, that might help you along the way. You might find yourself, instead of being so rigid and go, this is the right way to scrap, because that's how I was taught. When I first started scrapbooking, I was very much, it had to be Creative Memories products, acid and lignin free, stickers only, no bulk. That's how it was. And it wasn't until, it's been years, and I kind of got bored with that. I kind of went, you know what? And I know you probably find that very unusual, that I would be bored of this hobby that I absolutely love. But I did. And that's when I realized, you know what? I can use whatever I want. There's no real hard and fast rule of things that you should and should not ever use. And obviously things like metal. So if you're adding metal, whether it's brads, whether it's eyelets, or I've got some of those, what do you call them? They're like sprockets, like gears, those kind of things, those metal things. They have a clear finish on them, but they're still metal. So I make my albums for the long term. So I don't use as much metal in my album as I do everything else. But that being said, the things that we have now, the metals that, so these gears, for example, that I've just bought, I picked them up from Uniquely Creative, and they are stunning. I have no idea how to use them though. I am no MK gun, okay? Some assemblies required. She makes it look so easy with the gears, and you just tuck them in and it doesn't work for me. And I've got 2 packets. I think I've got 2, if not 3 packets that I went out of my way and went, yep, I'm going to buy them, and they're still sitting there because I'm stuck. I'm very, very stuck. So I'm thinking that it is something that's been in the back of my head that I want to use them. And there's some silver ones and some rose gold ones and some sort of, in the silver pack, they're kind of, no, hang on. All the silver ones are literally silver. But I'm thinking what I can do is use a permanent ink. So my black archival, or I do have stays on, but oh, that stuff stinks. I hate using it. Maybe paint, but I think paint will flake off over time. But I'm thinking I can change the colour of them a little bit and make them easier for me to use in my setup and the way I do things. So stay tuned. During the week, I'm going to give these a crack. Might even get into it today. I've been pretty slack this morning. Actually, no, I haven't. I haven't really. I've been working on my videos, my voiceovers, and all my other bits in between. So the other thing I've done here is I've cut out my title. As you can see me putting it all together, I used my Distress inks this time instead of my Distress oxides, and I used Squeeze Lemonade and KITSCH Flamingo, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right because it's KITSCH. I don't know why there's an S in there, but anyway, as we were. So I added those 2 colours in there because I wanted, if I could, to pull out the yellow and the pink out of the other lines, because Jen's got a pink hair tie in. So, and she's wearing a black shirt, so hence the black border. But I didn't want it to be a really dark, broody sort of page. So yeah, it's really good. Now, I have put this in here. As you know, guys, I will put in mistakes. I won't edit them out. This is where I ended up with a bit of a hiccup because I'd already put the stars on there, and I actually did that yesterday afternoon. And then I've come back to it this morning to finish it off and put my title on there. And just, mummy duties called me yesterday afternoon, so I couldn't finish it. So I went to glue them all down, and there were stars in the way. So you can see me really pressing this down, and that's because I'm trying to get the title to sit flat. It's never going to sit flat. I did attempt to remove one of the stars. That was never going to happen because I used my art glitter glue. That stuff, when I tell you that stuff sticks and holds on, you can't remove them. Had it have been yesterday afternoon, I possibly could have, but yeah, I didn't want to trash the background, so I've stuck them down over the top of the stars, and I think it looks okay. But I've left it in for you, and the close-up photos will show you how the title is actually sitting. I think from a distance, and once it's in the album, it'll look fine. So that is my layout done. Please, if you wish to enter, it is for Australia and New Zealand only, but if you are one of the many few that are watching the videos, you might as well subscribe to the channel because it's free, and that way you will be notified when, if you hit the bell, you'll be notified when I post a new video. I post 6 videos a week to a minimum, but whilst this giveaway is going on, there will be 7 videos up this week, all for you to get inspired by. So here's the close-up. Look at all that shiny glitter and those beautiful stars. They look absolutely stunning. I love them. And to be quite honest, I think I may end up buying some more, but in a different color range. They are really good, super easy to attach, and I love them. So thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate each and every one of you, and if you want to enter, jump down below, jump in the description, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will chat to you later. Bye for now.